All right, at 6 o'clock, we'll bring this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you everyone for being here. We have no guests tonight. We'll move right along. Well, we have
The parking lot made me a little nervous.
the parking lot.
There's like a ton of cars out there.
Volleyball potluck.
And a band meeting and a class. Me and Robert.
3.01, this is the point of meeting for comments on matters not already on the agenda. Comments on agenda items will be accepted when that item comes up during the meeting. Interested persons may also submit views in written form to the clerk or superintendent prior to the meeting, and those comments will be brought to the attention of the board during the meeting. Do we have any public participation and correspondence? You two don't count. All right. Move on, new business. 4.01.
I move the Colstrip Public School Board of Trustees approves the recommendation for termination of employment.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this agenda item? Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.02, for information purposes only. But this does not help.
Nope.
So, but we'll talk about that later. 4.03,
Can I ask when her resignation is effective?
September 30th.
30th.
employment substitutes,
All together?
all together.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the following district substitutes for 25-26 school year as presented. Jody Rita, Trevor McManus, Emily Barron.
Second.
Motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.04, classified.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the classified hire of Nathan Big Left Hand as custodian for the 25-26 school year.
Second.
Motion second. Any public comment on this?
Yay.
Yay. Yay?
That's all.
I get that,
You'll
yeah.
be at your building?
With that, Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.05, extracurricular.
I'd like to bring Taylor Ramsey as head wrestling coach for approval, for board approval.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Taylor Ramsey as CHS head wrestling coach for the 25-26 school year.
Second.
Motion second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? I'm glad you came around.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Taylor. Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.06 is policies. And these are all second readings, correct?
This one's a first read.
This one's the first? Yes, it is. 111.
Where we did this one.
I swear we did too.
We talked about it, and then it was the same meeting that you tabled all of them to not take any
Okay.
action. So I think that's what I remember.
Okay. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the first reading of the recommended update to policy 1111 election.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 407, 1210.
This allows you to make motions. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves
Still gonna be out.
the first reading of recommended updates to policy 1210, qualifications, terms, duties of board officers.
Second.
I have motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, you went ahead and approved yourself.
There's some stuff that got removed here, and then there's 3 options available for us. So we can choose 3 readings, 2 readings, or immediately following a single reading and discussion. I'm okay with 1 reading because
I
I
am
feel like we
too.
talk about it enough and we don't
I am
do
too.
something unless we discuss it.
I agree.
Because we can table it if we don't feel like it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be okay with option 3 if you guys are.
Right, yeah, 1310.
Yeah, I'm good with option 3.
Okay. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the first reading of recommended updates to policy 1310, district policies and procedures, adopting option 3.
Second.
Motion and second. Any public comment on this?
For recommended,
Yes.
doesn't really give the, Terry Bowen's is you. It doesn't really give like the community time to, because they don't always read the policies, but they'll hear about the board meeting afterwards. So 1 reading doesn't really give anybody outside of this meeting any time to have any input on it.
I suppose if there's one with like a major issue, we can always bring it back. Because I haven't heard.
And most of these policies,
And yeah, I get
You know what I'm
how
saying?
some are, but since there are things that the community might have something they want to say about it.
but I agree with Sabrina. We can always bring it back. So, yeah. Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.09 is
To delete
to delete.
1310 P1.
So I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the removal of policy 1310 P1, district policy and procedures.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
4.11, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. 4.10.
We did this one. I know we did this one last time. This should be the second reading. Right?
Let's look it up.
I think so.
I think we did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
The
had,
8th, maybe?
we had it on August 25th.
Is that the meeting that we tabled them all, or was the?
Isn't it just our last board meeting?
So we,
Feels like forever.
yes, we did it on August 25th. That must have been the time that we tabled it. Then we had it again on September 8th,
Yeah, the last meeting we had,
just the last board meeting.
that was our first reading, and we approved it.
We had this one, because we even said, we wish we had that first reading one done prior to all of these, because then they would have been policy instead of having to come back for a second reading.
Mhm. Yep, this one was approved first time on September 8th, so we can do a second.
I see it.
Okay. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the second reading of recommended updates to policy 1700 uniform complaint procedure.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any public comment on this? For the board? Sabrina?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
The next one's the same way, Sabrina.
2132.
2132 we had on the 8th was our first reading.
Okay.
Sorry, I skipped ahead for you. Yeah, that one is, we had
Second
that.
too.
Yep.
My
So-
notes say that Sabrina and I may move to table this policy to the next meeting on the September 8th meeting.
On
So are you
policy
saying we did that one
20
again?
2132?
Yeah.
On September 8th?
Mhm.
Okay, so we tabled this one then.
Because we couldn't read it. It was a Word document.
Okay.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the first reading of recommended updates to policy 2132, student and family privacy rights.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, what about 3410?
I'm not finding that one anywhere.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the first reading of recommended updates to policy 3410, student health. Thank you.
Did I miss one?
We
Yeah,
skipped
you
one.
missed one.
We skipped 12.
Okay.
Let's go back.
There wasn't a second on it, so it's good.
Yeah, let's go back to 4.12, policy 2162.
I don't see that.
I'm on the wrong meeting. I went back to September 8th. There's
Way
too
to
many
go.
screens up. Okay, what one are we on?
So many policies.
There's so many.
2612 P1.
Yeah.
2612.
4.12, 4.12.
Deleting it. Says delete it.
Yeah.
Okay,
The notes I read on this before we came in here was MTSBA said if you had a 2612 P2, you don't need the P1 anymore.
okay.
And so we do have the P2.
Okay.
I move that the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the first reading of the recommended deletion of policy 2612.
You don't have a second reading for deletion, do you?
Start over. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves deleting policy 2612 P1, section 504 procedures.
Second.
I'm just making my own motions from now on.
Are we sure? Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this?
Yeah,
Any-
please speak.
Yes.
My agenda says policy 2162. Is that a misprint?
2162 P1.
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 Okay, okay. I just don't see 2612 on mine. On
Oh.
the agenda.
20
Do I have a typo in my notes? I
2612?
don't think so.
Yeah, 2162. Yeah. Because Sabrina said 2612.
2162.
2162.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.13, student health recommended updates.
This is the first time this one's coming back from me.
Right.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the first reading of recommended updates to policy 3410, student.
Second.
Okay, you have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.14, sponsored activities, first reading.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the first reading of recommended updates to policy 3510, school-sponsored activities.
Second.
Did that have an option on it?
No.
Mm-mm. Just bullet points, no options though.
Okay.
Okay, a motion,
Oh, wait a minute.
where?
The very first one. I pulled up the CPS policy, but the MTSBA policy shows two different options. Oh, no, it's optional. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing to choose though, right?
Yeah, so you can do that under extracurricular activities. Your options are 3B or 3C if you want to adopt those. Or one or the other, or both, or, so the optional
Oh, but we
language is
talked
just,
about
We talked about leaving those out because we have our
Yep.
own policy for that.
That's right.
okay.
Yep.
So not adopting the,
The optional
optional.
language. No, we're not.
okay.
We're good?
I lost track. Did you guys even take a vote?
No.
Honestly.
No, not
Okay,
yet.
okay. I just want to make sure you're like, are we good? Are we moving on? I'm like, I don't know.
We have
I didn't put a
motion.
vote
We
in.
haven't, we have
Okay.
just had a
Yeah.
motion on the table.
Got you.
Any further public comment on this agenda item? Board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.15,
Mandatory notices to parents regarding human sexuality instruction. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the second and final reading of recommended updates to policy 2335, human sexuality instruction and identity instruction as presented.
Second.
okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the state of Montana identified gender as biological male and biological female this last legislative session. And so if you look at B, it says identity instruction means instruction that has the goal or purpose of studying, exploring, or informing students about gender identity or gender expression or sexual orientation. I would request that you include biological male and biological female. The second reason for requesting that is that the school shootings have all been gender dysphoric individuals. And the more that we teach pronouns and whatnot, the more confusion we, I believe, will encourage in our young people. And I think that it's very important we stick with what the state of Montana has said. And then thirdly, there's a letter that I provided to our administrative staff that is from the Administration for Children and Family, Washington, D.C., and it states on the third page that ACF instructs Montana to remove all content concerning gender ideology from its curricula, program materials, and any other aspects of its program delivered within 60 days of receipt of this letter, which means we have until October 27th. And then provide a copy of the modified materials to ACF for approval. And if Montana does not remove these in all similar languages, I can give this to Brittany when we're done, then federal awards can be terminated and likely will be. So it says, please submit.
Federal what, Deanne?
Federal funds. It said Montana's directed to remove these in all similar language throughout their curriculum program materials. Should Montana, the state of Montana fail to make the appropriate modifications to its PRVP curriculum program materials, which will allow HHS to withhold, disallow, suspend, or terminate federal awards and impose any additional conditions on a grantee does not cure non-compliance. So they're requesting that gender ideology is removed from all human sexuality curricula in the state of Montana. 2 states have already complied. There were 48 states who received this letter. Montana was one of those 48.
This is just saying we're noticing parents. This isn't saying we're going to do that. This is just a notice that goes out to parents and how you can become excused from some of those discussions.
Okay.
If they were to happen, it's not saying anything like that is going to happen. It's just saying parents will be notified.
I understand that, but
Mhm.
I'm curious as to whether or not we're making those steps in our curriculum to make those changes, to remove that curriculum.
I think that would be a different conversation.
Okay,
And absolutely, the next one is the policy, right, or the form to fill out too.
right, because I didn't copy those off. I didn't have time. I wasn't sure when Wyoming just ran here. So I did look through those documents to see if that was included in those.
Okay, any other public comment? Any further board?
I have a question about, so are the changes that we're making on the form with the red writing on it, are those like the actual changes?
Are you looking at 4.16 now, Derek?
Uh,
Or are you still on 4.15?
I'm still on 4.15. And,
The changes in red are the recommended, yes.
okay.
Because all the strike through is gonna be taken out.
Because the changes for part A, where it defines human sexuality instruction, that is not taken straight from the MTSBA recommendation. There are a couple parts in there that are actually from part B. There is the sexual orientation and gender identity. I kind of feel like one of the strengths in this policy, if we go with it, is its ability to differentiate between terms. And so if we have concepts that are shared between terms, that really blurs, that muddies the waters, which that comes into play with the next things that you're going to be adopting, which is the forms, because human sexuality instruction is opt-out. So we're assuming kids are going to be sitting in the class or in the assembly unless parents opt them out, whereas identity instruction is opting in. So we're assuming kids are not going to go to something like that unless parents say that they do. So differentiating between those two terms is really important, especially with the assumptions the district takes for our students. So I kind of think that we probably should stick with the MTSBA recommendation and keep sexual orientation and gender identity out of Part A and just go straight with what MTSBA said. Because we're going to muddy the waters otherwise.
So strike those, okay,
So he's saying,
get rid of this and this, yeah.
Right, sexual orientation.
Sexual orientation and gender
That would
identity.
stay consistent.
oh, take sexual orientation and gender identity out of
Yep.
option A.
Yep, and just leave them in Part B.
So question then, if that's not MTSBA's recommended language, then where did it come from?
I think it's a typo. I mean, otherwise it's the same as MTSBA. I just think it's a typo on Part A. Because we do have the MTSBA policy verbatim under the 9.4.25.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, sexual
I see what
orientation.
you're saying.
Gender identity are.
Yeah, that's the model.
Right.
9-4-25.
Right.
Is it just the definitions that are different then? That section?
In section A, the
Just the
definitions are
definitions,
different.
Because it's covered in B.
Mhm.
Right.
Just a second though. The rest of it's different too though. Because the additional notice to parents. just need to adopt the MTSBA recommended completely,
Okay,
because there's other things that are different too in that red,
okay.
which I think, yeah, that looks like it was copied and pasted and tried to, but it didn't.
So does it look like that when we first approved it, since this is a second reading?
Let me look at the agenda.
Cause then we'll have to amend it. Let's see.
What number is that? 30?
It's, 2335.
This is not last board meeting.
It was on the August one, the August 25th one.
But we tabled it because you can't read it.
Okay,
You can't open those documents. So this is the first reading.
okay.
I gotta get back to the right meeting now.
That's what I did, and then you start reading the motions.
That was on the September 8th one. So this would be the first reading.
Yes. Can I amend my motion? Did I make a motion?
Yeah, you moved and I seconded.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then we open discussion. So we have to amend your motion.
I'm gonna amend my motion. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the first reading of policy 2335, human sexuality instruction and identity instruction as presented in the MTSBA model policy.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Derek.
4.16 then.
So these can't open unless you have Word, so I think we have to table these so everybody can view
Yep.
them
Again.
until they can get put in as PDFs. So I move to table item 4.16 until the next board meeting.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 4.17, policy 3210. Second reading.
Is this a true second
I
reading?
know, I'm looking right now. What policy is it again?
3210.
Okay, so we're on September, let me look at August.
That's just the timeline.
3210 was on August 25th.
When I table everything.
We tabled everything August 25th. Because on August 25th, it was the second and final reading.
What do you got, Brittany?
Yeah, 3210, notes say bring it back to the next meeting.
That was on the 25th.
Yep,
So then did we do anything on the 8th with that one?
no.
I didn't
don't
see
it.
anything. So is this the first reading then and not the second?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What was changed on this one?
Was just allowing them, instead of designating the title, the Title IX coordinators.
High school and middle school principals, so we did vote this.
Yeah.
Because we
We
didn't,
because we took out the name
right,
and we put in the principal part.
Mhm.
Yep.
We did vote on this one,
so this should be a second reading.
yes. Should be,
Do we want to find it first or do you
probably,
guys? Okay,
yeah.
all right.
I swear
I'm
it
sure,
was
because
last
it just
time.
cleared up. It didn't matter who was in that.
Right, it was. On July 14th.
Yeah.
Look there.
Okay, let me check my notes.
I remember that was one that Scott wanted done.
That didn't make sense. First reading of 3210. Yep. I made the motion, Tiffany seconded, the motion passed unanimously.
Got it.
Remove the optional language. Yep. Okay, I move. What number was that? 3210.
3210.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approve policy 3210 on the second and final reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. All right, with that, moving to our work session. Transportation and facilities. And activities. Don't jump all over the place.
Robert, you look like you're itching to go.
I think kind of part of this is both of us. And Rich had reached out to Tyler and got a hold of the company and got us some information on a maintenance program for the field. What they sent us was an overview and the timelines of when you should do stuff as far as grooming, aerating, grooming, cleaning, all that, and how to do spot areas like where your PAT is, you just don't run the machine out there, you just use like a plastic rake and small hand tools to do that and bring a refill. There's a lot of good stuff. I also went on YouTube, and Field Turf actually has instructional videos on YouTube for using their equipment and when to do things and how to do it. So there's a lot of information there. A lot of it's 4 to 6 weeks. Bear rating is no more than 3 times a year, but typically after winter or after each sports season. Well, theoretically, we would only do it twice a year, and you groom every 4 to 6 weeks. And you clean it about that same interval. Basically, probably 2 days and one person could do all the field maintenance. And then the painting's just as needed, but that would take a little extra because you could actually go through and get the old paint off so it doesn't build up on the turf itself. So you have to go with the paint remover and then repaint the lines. But I would say no more than ours getting used. I don't feel like we would be doing that. That would be every couple of years. I would think. Depending on the usage, I guess.
Granted, everything goes right.
I think the biggest thing is the infill, the rubber beads that are in there, right? They come out, they go all over the place, right? So sometimes you need to infill that. When you room it, it gets the synthetic grass that lays down to come back up. Just my experience for the last 25 years down south with turf, it's just room it when it needs it. But one person can do it in less time, or about the same time as, no problem. So it's not very labor intensive. And painting the field, I've seen go 8 years or 10 years without painting. I think when you take off the paint, it's like if we're at a stadium that holds different events, more like a college stadium where they have to paint and repaint, or like at NRG, they got the Texans, they got high school games, they got national soccer, all this, they got the rodeo, they take it all out and stuff. That's when you take the paint off and repaint it for whatever event's going on. At a high school, I don't think I've ever seen anybody repaint the field. So it was very detailed, but that's their marketing for every venue they could put turf into. For an ordinary high school field, just the maintenance is very limited.
I didn't get to talk to the coaches, but I was there at Tech when those kids got to play on the Tech field, and it was funny to watch those kids get out there and they're on their hands and knees feeling that. So that was a great experience for both Thompson Falls and Colstrip. I think for those kids to play on that field and get some, and absolutely zero complaints about playing on that. Of course, they're playing at Tech, so I'm not going to complain about that, but I think they all got a pretty good kick out of that, playing on that field. And whatnot. I remember talking to a few of the players, they're like, couldn't really tell a difference once you're going. So
It's probably a little bit softer than what we plan out here after watching this field.
yeah, it was a little bit softer.
Yeah.
So good. So hopefully everything, I can't thank you two enough, Sabrina and Tiffany, for everything you're putting out there about this bond and getting it in everybody's faces. You're doing a fantastic job. I really appreciate that. So got a lot of comments on the flyers and the posters and stuff. A lot of it was positive. We do have a few of the, why, but we're going to get that no matter what we do. So I think it's all pretty positive. So hopefully that'll go well. The biggest thing I have on this one right here, I'm not too worried about facilities right now. I think you got a pretty good handle on that. I'll let you, Rich, give us your little report on the activities here in a minute. Transportation's a problem right now. We have a longtime employee that is going to retire at the end of the month. And I've known Tony my whole life. I knew it was going to be this way. It was when she made up in her own mind, I'm done. And unfortunately, it's tomorrow, basically. So we're in a bind with bus drivers. We've always been in a bind with bus drivers. So this is going to be even harder for us. So I know Rich has looked into a lot of options, and there's a lot of things we can't do because we just haven't had our budget's already set. Well, yeah, and everybody says you can't do that right now because you don't have a budget. So I don't know what we're going to do there.
Some of those things, I think we should talk through some of those things to just know what we've been working on.
So fill us in a little bit on what you've been doing already, Rich.
So I just looked at coming in to the job, seeing that Tony been a long time employee, 40 years, that sometime down the road, sooner or later, she was going to retire. So I looked at outsourcing, contacted a couple companies and trying to feel the way to what that would look like. So we come up with numbers and budgets and stuff, not quite there with budgets, whatever, but we're working on that just to see what it looks like. We do have an applicant that applied to be a bus driver last week. We tried to set up the interview for today, but the applicant didn't get back to us until today. They were out of town. They said they'd get back in touch with us, so that might be I've had another person call and want to know what the background check is like. They may know someone that may want to apply, but that's been it for people that have contacted the office about applying to be a bus driver. Like, you all know this better than I do, that somebody gets a CDL, probably gonna go work at the plant or the mine, or they can go work for Prince up here in Forsyth. There's a lot of options as, and for a student who runs out of Billings, who's, I don't know if they're just I think they're a nationwide company, right? They're working around us too, and they're hiring. Matter of fact, we had a bus driver we thought hired, and they hired him away for us. Their pay scale was a bit better than ours. So that's where we're at right now, to try to service our children to get them to and from school.
What are we paying right now for a wage bus?
25 an hour.
No, it went up after
You still see it?
negotiations.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What, we at 35?
2602 for starting.
How
What
much?
is it?
2602 for starting, and then you can get up to 10 years of experience added.
So it's a matrix now, we went to a matrix. So you can bring in up to 10 years of experience on that matrix. Let me pull it up. Unless you have it right in front of you, Dan.
And there's also kind of a retort going around the community that, we've just not hired people, we've just not, that people are applying, people have CDLs, they're interested in, that is 100% not true.
It's not the case, right?
No, I mean, they might be talking to other people, but they're surely not contacting our office. And as far as I know, they're not contacting human resources, and we've hired the one that don't finish his application. We're trying to interview the second person who's finished the application.
Yeah, it's the same conversation I have with Scott every week. So what are we gonna do? If we don't have the applicants coming in,
We
there's
don't
nothing we
have
can
a,
do.
there's nothing we can do. Parents are gonna be responsible for bringing their kids to school. If they're gonna get their kids, that's the way it is, that we can't make
And
anyone.
we're under, even our insurance
Mm-hmm.
is getting after us about the hours we're making our maintenance manager work with the bus routes and his job, and then the bus routes. And then now we're gonna start coming into winter, and those hours are gonna even increase more because there's snow removal and all the other stuff. So,
Yeah, our insurance company is not happy that
no.
it's part of the,
All right, Dan?
Miles City, they have the CDL truck driver training program. Is there any way that as we move forward, we can maybe offer to pay their?
It's already there. We already have it.
And how about at Lanier, the class John is very.
Again.
Same thing.
They've reached out at the beginning of the year. They post about the program. If we had, somebody has to be CDL certified, but if they wanted to get the endorsement, if we had just a few people or even one, they would come here for a price and they would do that in 2 days to get them to take the Miles City. That didn't pan out. We didn't have anybody. We thought we had somebody. I called Lanier. She said you could make it work, but gave us the number to Miles City. So we know those are available. From what I understand, we'll finance that. It gets to the same thing, right?
And
But we don't have anybody.
the district will finance it from your regular driver's license all the way through.
That's great, okay.
Mhm.
And there are classes that are offered through the school to be able to do all of that. It's just,
All that is a conversation with the superintendent or the transportation director, Mr. Slater, and then they say, hey, yeah, this person is willing to do this. Will the board do it? Of course the board's gonna do it. But we're not getting it. And it's not, and I wanna make it clear too, it's not just Colstrip. This is a problem.
on Saturday, we had Sheridan, that they couldn't stay for all 4 games because their driver had to drive that night. And they had to get back. And, I see all over, because I follow a bunch of different teams, they're canceling stuff all the time, whether it's their routes or their activities or their, it's just a nation.
We were fortunate that the Braves stepped up for the bus to Tech, to Butte. So, I mean, like I said, but the Braves not gonna be there with us, after the football season, right? So we can't count on them to step up either,
So it's
so.
not a one-town problem, it's not a Northwest problem, it's a nationwide
It's a
problem.
problem.
Teachers, officials, bus drivers, and it's everywhere.
And the way I see it is, this is gonna be a problem for the taxpayers, because we're gonna be moving to that contract-based stuff, I think, with first student or Sarpy Transportation, you know what I mean? That, and that's not cheap.
No, it's not.
That's not cheap at all.
The initial placement is 2575, and then year 10 is 2916 for the bus driver.
And I know we have that matrix, but I don't know if we need to have a conversation about
And 2916.
You know, moving that starting, and I don't know what that number is though.
And the hard part is like when you're contracted 4 or 6 hours for 170 days, that does not make a full-time job no matter what you do. So, you know, when the Lions paying $45 an hour for 2060, you divide that by 174 divided by 4, I mean, that's, you're $107 an hour.
We are in one of those climates, one of those areas that we have to compete with those.
And that's why we did the maintenance thing, because then at least it becomes a full-time job. And if we had 3, 4 maintenance people that all have CDLs, you know, that route can be split. But as of right now, not everybody has that. And it is like a 12% raise if they, every hour that they work, if they get that bus endorsement. So, there's that incentive there.
Mhm. There's an incentive, but then we're also working 3 to death.
So we need to hire more maintenance people in the tier 3, because we could always use more maintenance people.
We can always
Plus,
use
if
more
they can
maintenance
drive
people.
bus, that can help.
Because if we
disperse
only
that out
have
a little
3
bit.
Oh, yeah,
maintenance
in a
workers.
perfect world, if we could hire another 4 or 5 guys, right?
And that
Or
initial
people, doesn't matter.
placement, that initial placement is 2652 for a tier 3. So you come in maintenance with your bus driver license, and then the 10-year is 3003.
Because originally, they were trying to, like, past boards, past superintendents was trying to fill people's time with like custodial or janitorial or whatever, you know, food service, but they were being paid that $14.50 or whatever in their off hours, and it just wasn't, you know, wasn't still enough for them.
In order to get maintenance stuff done around the buildings though, too, like,
Mhm.
even if we only have the 3 people that, even if every one of our maintenance workers now had a CDL, pulling them to drive routes,
We're in trouble again.
we're in trouble again.
Yeah, we need to have
We
double
need to
our
double the
maintenance
maintenance
staff to get
staff
the bus
in order to
drivers.
get the bus drivers.
All I can say, if anybody's listening online and hears, if there's anybody that might be interested, you gotta come have a conversation with Rich and Terry about where you can start, what it could be, you know, all the options.
Well, I know Terry's, like, she asks everybody that she sees, why don't we drive bus?
I asked
mean,
everybody
I
as
hit up
well.
every grandparent, like, we could pay you to drive these kids, we could pay you to sit and watch them, we could, you know, I mean, the route drivers is a little harder, but we're even just pushing our activities to get kids to these, you know.
How many activity drivers do we have?
We have weekend drivers
That's it,
for the most part.
okay,
They have other jobs in it.
and then they drive on the weekends.
Yeah. And like Don does
Some during the week, but not
activities.
And they can drive some in the light.
Right, yeah. The unfortunate thing is we have this great bus barn full of buses. So
Nice buses.
probably the best charters in the state. We can't get anybody to drive.
You know, people are talking about like, you know, asking for, you know, the bus enclosure and asking for more things, like, this isn't a bus issue, right?
Driver
It's a
issue.
driver issue.
It's even brought up, I mean, we're not gonna have them. If we're gonna end up at a 1 route system moving on, there's 8 yellow buses up there. What are we gonna do with them?
Right now, well, as of next week, we won't even have a 1 route.
No,
It's a 0. Everybody's gonna be responsible for bringing their kids in come September.
I think if that is true, because the notice that went out today was said until further notice, it's a 1 route. If we're truly gonna have a 0 route, we need to tell people right now,
Well, we weren't.
Waiting for this meeting.
We were
Okay.
waiting, they were waiting for this meeting.
because
For
that's
us
a
to
lot
talk
of prep for people.
Mhm.
It's a lot of prep.
This would give them a week and a day.
Mhm.
This was like like, we're waiting for your guys' directive to just,
Put it out there.
You gotta get it out there.
Yep.
This is nothing this board wants to do by any means.
So parents who can't bring their kids to school, what about online instruction? Is that an option?
Mm-mm.
You gotta get them here. Good.
Good.
There's a lot of other places that have carpools.
That's true.
We have a lot of shift workers in this town who work opposite shifts. Maybe some of these dads just need to get together and start carpooling. When you're off, when you're on night shifts, carpool your kids.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing it now. I'm picking up girls, taking them to the middle school every morning.
And we've
In
offered
our
that to
neighborhood.
shift workers, like,
'Cause
if
it's
you
easy.
can only drive in the mornings, if you could only drive 2 days a week, that would help, you know, anything would help.
We're just not getting anybody. I mean, it's just, people don't want to do it. For a multitude of reasons from what I've seen, what I've heard. People just don't want to.
and in my years, you know, with the negotiations and stuff, it's like, every time we increase the route, or increase the wage, we lose another one. Like, and, you know, if you bus, the last big jump, somebody moved from driving bus to the kitchen for a $9 an hour weekend.
So what does that tell you?
But it's not just the wage.
Mm-hmm.
Want to do shuttle buses? Not fun.
No,
Like I said, and I'm
Children-
not asking right now to increase the wage by any means.
no.
But what I'm asking for is come have a conversation. If there's any inclination that you might want to do this, you know, I think we would be pretty open to what do we have to do?
I've been told everything from the hours, it splits your day. The insurance, our insurance is not good. Don't want to drive on bad roads with other people's children. Children are too bad, and they just don't want to deal with children. There was one other one.
What is the minimum age of the driver?
21, I believe.
Friends are saying, yeah.
We've even offered, and Brittany, you can correct me, but, like if they wanted to drive bus, then we could bill their hours. If they wanted to sub as a custodian or wanted to sub in
Yeah.
a classroom.
We just talked about that too. Yeah.
There's options.
But we're
Like I said-
better off doing extra maintenance people. Then they can keep that wage
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and not have to drop down to like $12 an hour.
Like I said, I don't have, no one's had a solution for this for years beyond us, but only thing I can say is if you're even thinking about it or kicking it around, you just gotta come have a conversation with Rich and you, Terry, and Robert. It's a conversation, right? So, and it might be, hey, if you did this, I think the district and the board's gonna be pretty open to, trying to work something out to get somebody behind the wheel of the bus. Cause like I said, we have a lot of kids that are a long ways from this facility.
Mhm.
And that's gonna be,
It's gonna be tough.
it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna take the community reaching out to others, right? I mean, somebody may have a job, but if you can't get your kids here, then we need to reach out to as many people as we know, whether they live here or wherever they live, to try to get them to drive, because it's pretty dire right now.
It is.
What's the timeline somebody comes in, they want to drive bus, but they don't have a CDL. What's the timeline to get them behind the wheel?
Oh,
It's so many hours on the line, correct?
It has 18 or 19 hours of training online to do the book work, and then you take your
Then you
written
take
test.
the driver's test.
I remember last year's, maybe January or February, I remember Tom saying something that the one test person for Eastern Montana was like a 6-month wait.
And that,
To
they
take
are
your
running into that
final
final
test.
test is taking quite a while. And we did have two people that completed, the online courses, that one has had a third baby, so driving, couldn't continue on.
Which-
The other one was a parent.
Which I don't understand, how long is it taking to get, there's nobody driving bus.
The other one was a parent that,
They should be waiting on the phone to give that driver's test.
I think they do all CDLs.
It is all CDLs, it's just the passenger side that there's so many people not getting into that, but the CDL side, they're just booked.
If we ever talking more about the possibility of if somebody south of town wanted to drive, that they could store the bus and have a place to store it.
Again, that's a conversation, that person just needs to come in and have a conversation with Rich.
I didn't get that, I'm sorry. That was a question I had, and I said, right now, that's not the practice, but we need to start thinking outside the box, and I would bring it to you all, and we would.
It's done a lot of other places. It's nothing, we're not trying to bring something new. So, I mean, it happens a lot. So I know especially you get further east of here, some of those smaller towns, those guys are taking the buses home. Those
Harding
people.
Park's theirs at Cruzman's house.
Yeah. So,
I don't know how that affects maintenance or how you start during the winter or whatever, but if other districts are, at least something to look at.
sure.
I remember when Lynn Logan drove for High Show, she picked the bus at her house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, yeah. Like I said, it happens all over all over the place. It's not, we can work around that.
Yeah,
We'll
We gotta-
figure that out,
person to drive first, we could figure that out.
so. Okay,
But I think we need to get that out. That call, put it on Thrill Share, get it all out to social media, do the robocall, all of that.
So then the people that are required to have a bus, that one route, they're gonna be put on transportation contracts, is that correct? Because they have to be. So that's gonna cost.
and it's too tough to be trying to go back and forth, back
It
and
is.
forth. We got one, well, we got two, well, it's,
Got one, but tomorrow we have none, and then we have one.
Mhm.
We just we have to, that's too hard for parents.
so I agree, yeah, get that out ASAP.
And as far as the individual transportation contracts, they probably need to contact me to get that going, because I don't know who they are. So if they could contact me, I'll do that, but we already set the budget, so we won't be reimbursed for those like we are for the ones that currently we have.
Mhm.
So just a heads up on that, but I think still
I don't think that
Legally
they
have
should have
to-
to be able to contact you, because a lot of these people have no idea that exists.
Yeah.
So I think we need to let them know that is an option.
we can put it on the website or something,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not typically, even when somebody moves to town, we don't typically go and call them and be like, hey, we can backdate it or things like that, but we don't normally. But we can put something on the website.
Yeah, I just think we should reach out to them and let them know. Because it's not that many people, really.
I mean, we can put out the no route, and then we can also put out, some statement from.
It's everybody with that lives outside
Outside of 3 miles.
that 3-mile radius,
Within the district. bounds.
within the
Within the
district
district
bounds.
And you should have a list of who those are.
For the most part.
Yeah.
This year's is not as, probably accurate because, I haven't, jobs, but,
And it's 3 miles to a school, not their school either, just clarify. So if they're coming from out of town and the closest school is at the MS, that's where the mileage stops. Because they could drop their kid off there technically and get on a bus up to the high school, or except if we don't have a bus.
Yeah.
It even does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to look at that.
Wade already,
How the
I mean,
wording
Wade
is,
did
yeah.
that huge map.
Yeah,
He had it all laid out.
It was pretty well, everybody was,
Pretty much everybody in town.
And that's what
Everybody
the
in
one
town.
route
Okay.
was based off of, was his maps.
and the
that he
one
did.
route, basically, so for high school students, it is town pump and beyond. And, no, for elementary students, it's town pump and beyond. High school is the middle school and beyond. And then for, behind the bank is high school and middle school, or not high school and elementary. And middle school in town is not.
So we didn't have anything.
Because even Steve is like 2.9.
We don't make it either, which is, to me, it is what it is. There's so many kids in my neighborhood, I don't mind. They're all over the place anyway. I'd rather put them in school than have them running around the streets.
I think we need to think of different things too, besides like monetary compensation that could maybe influence people too.
Well, we've tried that. That doesn't work anyway. You know, we've thrown,
But like,
I think we need to do a little bit more and do a little bit more HR stuff as far as like reaching out to people, putting it out on the website, that we pay for your CDL, we'll pay for your bus endorsement, we'll help train you, we'll do, you know, it's a 16-hour course and you get to this and that, you know. I think people are looking at truck driving school as their only option and, you know, and people in this room didn't even necessarily know that we paid for it. So I think we just need to do a better job of getting that out there. And I don't know, maybe it should be part of Talon's retirement packages. The school would like to visit.
Westmoreland, Talon.
yeah,
Broke
unfortunately, you
apart.
have grandparents like my parents who are on vacation since the minute they retired.
Yeah.
That's the people that, yeah, that's the generation that we're looking at now, and they're not gonna drive the bus.
How many students is it, Terry? How many students that are in the district?
So
It's
if you
right
want
around
to,
the-
which is,
Okay.
report, go ahead.
How many did you say, Terry?
If it's on one bus, so it's less than 84.
That ride a bus?
The one route.
The one route is less than 84.
But I don't know.
Just thinking how many short buses we have and suburbans and.
And that, I mean, that would,
But then you still have to have people willing to drive them.
and you can't run those for very long either because you're not reimbursed for any.
There was just an article about Huntley Project that said their superintendent in Paris have been driving their buses because they have no bus drivers either. And they
We've
pay less
definitely done that before,
Mhm.
so,
District staff did that.
Yeah. But then we get burnout like we're doing to Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tough.
And we can't with the CCA and CFA. I mean, those contracts are,
Well, I mean, we already have it in there that you're driving, their contracts have it in there that you're driving, you're getting, whether it's white bus or school. So, I mean, that's not, it's an option, but we have two white buses and we have four.
right.
And Urban's, like today, they're looking to
Mm-hmm.
be checked out for, wage, they don't have. At this point, I want to.
I just don't know how else to incentivize people. I mean, we could do like a lifetime activity pass if you work for at least a year or something, you know? I mean, there's things that we can do, I think,
I
that
just
aren't
don't-
just wages.
I know, but I just don't think that is gonna motivate people to drive them. I just don't.
You just need one. You need to motivate like one.
I know,
And
but
then
I don't-
motivate one. So we just need to find what it is. There's gotta be something. There has to be. I don't know. We need to think about it. though.
Ask them what motivates them. Each person would be different.
Mhm.
You know, what incentive do you need? Tell us what you want.
You want a free lunch every day?
Yeah.
We'll bring it out to the bar.
That might be enough.
You want a breakfast burrito on your way? You got it. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
You be optimistic, I'll be realistic. Okay, anything else on transportation? Terry, you'll get that. You and Rich will get that out, right? Perfect. Okay. Activities report?
Okay, well, we know we had homecoming, a lot went on. Let's see. I did this last week. So we had the football game on Friday. We had volleyball on Tuesday. As of last week, volleyball's varsity record was 3-3. The JV was 4-1, and the C team was 3-1. Watched a middle school volleyball game Saturday. They did very well. At the middle school before last week, whatever it is, the A team was 1-2, B team was 3-1, and the C team was 1-0. Cross country's going to the Mountain West in Missouri, where the state will be run to give our athletes a chance to run the course that they'll be running at state. We've already had quite a few qualified, as I understand already. Cheer did a great job with the skits and everything with homecoming, I thought. Homecoming update. You know, we had a wrestling interview, we just recommended a wrestling coach. Still looking for basketball coaches would be the next thing on the agenda to try to figure out when we're gonna try to get through homecoming, and we will start focusing on those. What else do I got here? I did some things with the scoreboard. I didn't put them up because the scoreboard's working now, so I think we're good. Just one thing to think about is I guess we bought that scoreboard in 2001. It's about 25 years old. Our scoreboards, there's now LED scoreboards and things like that in the future to look at. If the bond passes, we'll be looking for a scoreboard on the football field. There's other options, more expensive, but other options than what we have now. So I'm trying to look into those to be able to bring those to you, just to consider and see what's out there. I mean, there's a lot of different combinations that you could do. A scoreboard like we've got in the gym, and then a LED board for stats or whatever. So I'm trying to find all that to give to you when that time comes. What else? It's been brought to my attention that maybe the sound system in the gym needs to be addressed. I think the equalizer or the components, it's been a while since they were purchased, and we may be due for a partial or maybe more update for the sound system in the gym. The middle school football team is in Baker right now playing. There's a JV football game in Forsyth. Yes, because we've got a couple games with 8-man schools just because of proximity and the coach wanted to get JV some games. Yes, it's not, they service us. When one side of the ball, we're playing 11, and then the other side of the ball, we're playing 8. That way we kind of get what we need, but it's better than not playing at all. In the future, I went to the Southern B AD meeting in Billings last week on the 17th, and the AD from Joliet came up to me and wants to get middle school games. I think that's a great idea. Now that we're playing 11-man football in middle school, would like to follow our conference football schedule or all our schedules as best we can, you know, if we have drivers and all that, to play people that we're going to play a similar competition. So working towards that as we move forward into next year, making schedules and things like that.
I feel like we ask everybody, either if they want to be a driver or if they don't want to drive, they can coach basketball.
The cross-country meet was Wednesday. From what I understand, it went off very well. I was at the meeting, but had very capable people stand in for me, and I heard the cross-country meet went well.
Is our walk and talk on Wednesday?
Mhm.
And that's powder puff football now too?
Okay, so we had rough and tough Tuesday, and then we postponed powder puff football. Was a good thing too, right? Because that storm came through pretty crazy.
Mhm.
It's set up for Monday, set up for Wednesday, and they'll play out on Wednesday. What time does that start?
That's right after the walk.
Right after it.
The walk-in's at 6, right?
Mhm.
Because I leave in the morning, but I'm planning on being back right by 6.
Okay. Yeah, and if people come to that, we can talk more about the maintenance. We can walk around and look
Yeah.
at stuff.
Robert, do you have like a a printout of, or like what you were talking about? Do you have that?
Richard sent it to us.
Oh,
Yeah, we
perfect.
have the whole brochure plus the breakdown of everything. We can print
Perfect.
some
We
out.
can print some of those out then. Great.
Hopefully we'll get a little more community involvement in the meetings.
I just take it as they trust us right now. Like, if they don't show up, they're happy.
I get that too, so.
Again, you be
Optimistic.
I'll be realistic.
But, yeah. Robert, anything else? Get you some help.
Sure, that'd be good.
Do we still have maintenance people advertised?
I just looked at the job opportunities. Actually, was looking at busing to see what we said on there for busing, but we didn't say anything about the incentives or whatever. What'd you just ask me? Which one?
Maintenance.
Maintenance,
Yes, we do.
okay, yeah.
I think we should
Maintenance.
advertise a tier 3 maintenance position specifically. That's bus driver and maintenance, full-time job.
Yeah, this one just says maintenance. This is an 8-hour a day, 260-day position, hourly wage not less than $16.75 an hour.
And it's like way more than that.
Way more than that.
Okay, that's what we're advertising now.
Yeah.
So.
I think we need to advertise like a combo maintenance position, because we have that in the agreement now with the proper wages. Because then that's full-time work, drive a bus, do some maintenance. So who's the HR person?
I'll pass along the message.
Okay.
All right. We're ready to move on to 7?
Mhm.
Mr. Stewart.
Doing a lot of tickets this last month. We've had, I think, what does it say, 350 tickets? That's a lot. I thought that was normal, but then I looked at it a couple of months.
396.
396, yeah. I was wondering why I felt like I was drowning in just the whole team the last month. And I looked it up. 2 months out of last semester, we were at like 150 tickets per month. So my team's been doing a lot. And we have many of those closed, so it's leveling off now. I think we're gonna be back to that 150 to 200 tickets per day, but yeah, we had a lot going on, and school's still running. Tech is still working for the classrooms, and we're ironing out some of the wrinkles that are still left over just from the beginning of school. Well, that's the big thing, running tickets, getting in the classroom and fixing things.
Good. You guys all good with everything on the tech
Oh,
side?
boy, I tell you, absolutely 110%
Amazing job.
in our building all the time.
Good.
And love it.
Thanks.
Good. Thank you, Evan. I think we've gone through enough policy. I don't want to have anything about that.
Well, we need to open up communication.
Yes.
Do you have anything?
Terry,
We're good.
Heather, good, everybody good? Okay. Then we'll go to others. First people report.
So that is the report that I mentioned at the last board meeting, or maybe the first board meeting, that you guys were talking about the triggers of centralization, and I mentioned there is a report I can pull that shows per pupil expenditures. And so I did do that. Tiffany, I think, had asked me, like, what funds does that pull from? It pulls from all of them besides the interlocal. We don't use the debt service payment. It doesn't pull from adult ed or our out of district tuition payment fund or our community service fund. But all the other ones it does pull from. So I gave you those. I also shared them with the admin team as well when we had an admin meeting, so they knew kind of what was going to be presented. And so those numbers are attached just so you guys have an idea. I don't know when the new numbers will come out from reporting for this year, but this was for 2024, 25. So.
It's good information to have.
I mean, there's a lot of information in here. It's very interesting, I think.
It is, there is a lot.
It's something the community's gotta keep in the back of their head, especially if we're gonna keep running into busing issues. So, there's just a lot that goes into play that, not just transportation, maintenance. It just runs the whole gambit of it. There's just so many things that, it's just good information to have.
I looked up the, state average was 13,768.
So we're $13,000 over the state average.
In
Look
one
at our
of them.
student to teacher ratio, 8-1.
But look at our graduation rate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of issues on this page right here, I
Mhm.
think, that we need to address in a bunch of different ways.
What is our graduation?
88%, 88.5%.
How does that compare statewide?
Baker's at 96, Columbus 96, Huntley 83, Red Lodge 97, Shepherd 87, Thompson Falls 91, Three Forks 88. There's a lot of info on this. That's a lot to take in.
That year was a little bit lower because of some extenuating circumstances and some kids who finished late. So,
What is it usually about?
it's usually, I believe, 92, 94. I think that's what I have from my needs assessment survey. I can never check.
But I think even the 8-1 student to teacher ratio compared to, 14, 15, 16-1
Look at the drop in
at the high school
expenditures.
specifically. That's something to look at too, just making sure those classes are full, that number that we need, no less than 10 or.
Well, because even if you look at like Red Lodge, for example, it's got 176 in their high school. We have 155. They have a 10-1 ratio. They have a 97% graduation rate, and their per pupil expenditure is $15,781. It's 10,000 less, 11,000 less than what we spend per pupil.
And our sped participation rate is higher than anybody
It's the
else's on
highest
this list
in
by
the-
far.
20% sped rate.
So I think having those title programs at those lower levels, hopefully we'll see that number drop because we can intervene a lot earlier than we've been doing. But yeah, a lot of those numbers are pretty concerning, so. Thank you, Brittany.
We have it's the same thing at the middle school though, that's the highest sped rate
Mhm.
by far. And the elementary school, we're the highest by far. Well, Thompson Falls is 20% and we're 21.7. It's a lot I think we need to look at this deeper.
Mhm. I think we need to look at it when we talk about our strategic plan,
I agree.
because it gives us a lot more information to use when we're looking at where we're trying to go and how we're gonna get there and where we are now. What year was this for?
2024.
So the next new one will be coming out.
I think the last one came out in April, so it takes a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's 23, 24.
And I can probably get something about our numbers. May not have like a comparison, but I can probably work on trying to get our numbers since I reported them. Without pulling them from the website that they share. So I can work on that and see what I can do too in the meantime.
In your spare time.
It's all good.
Anything else?
don't forget the walk and talk is on Wednesday at 6. At the track.
I will not forget. I'm not gonna choose.
With that,